Well, good evening, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to my afternoon, I guess evening thoughts here. I just got off work. I'm actually still at work. Working at a client's house down here in Beaverton, Oregon. And since I live out in East Vancouver, Washington, it's about an hour drive. So I thought I would just kind of wait traffic out. Whenever I come out here, I like to just kind of kick back on the back porch. It's a nice little house, and we've been working on it for like a year or so, and it just feels good to know that you've accomplished something throughout the day, and then to be able to sit down and feel satisfied in your work. I was hooking up a bunch of plumbing for a sink, and it's like fancy brass plumbing, so I had to it's this farm sink that mounts on these little clips that just sits on the wall. So I had to take out the drywall and mount these boards so I could hold the clips, and then put the sink in, and then move the plumbing up the wall to come out of the farm sink. And it's been an ongoing process, but I finally got it finished. And about a half hour ago, I was all stoked looking at it, and I looked and I saw this drip coming down the wall. This is like the third time. So you've got to run out, shut off the water outside, go out, turn on the spigot from the lowest faucet, then turn on the higher faucet so all the water can run out. Then you have to take all the plumbing back off, take off all the old Teflon tape, put more back on, and try it again and hope that you had enough. And here's the trick. For plumbing, when you're hooking up, brass fittings, if any of you have ever done that, you use Teflon tape that you wrap around the threads. And this makes the seal between the threads so the water doesn't escape. But if you don't add enough tape, it leaks anyway. The problem is if you add too much tape, or you turn it the wrong way, it bunches up and it doesn't work either. So you have to find this happy medium, and all the materials, all the different products are different, right? So it comes with Teflon tape, but it's slightly different than the other stuff. Anyway, I guess it's neither here nor there. But it's just the little things. So I took it all apart and got it back together, and now it's complete. And so before I drove home, I was originally going to make a video. I guess I started talking about work, but it's just about life satisfaction, and how hard should we try in life? I can feel like I've accomplished something when I've finished even a small project. I know people out there who they start projects that are huge, momentous projects, and I wouldn't say I envy people who can take on things like that. I'm really fascinated by them, I guess. The type of person who can take on multiple projects and complete them all. And I'm talking about the polymath, the guy that's writing a book, but he's also building a race car, and he's also, I try to do as many things as I can. I do carpentry, but I build electric guitars. I haven't done that in a little while, but I'm into a lot of different things, and jewelry and resin and making boxes and all kinds of weird stuff, because I like to do many different things. And so there are people out there who do a lot of things, and then there are people out there, for example, who just have a lot of money, so they buy into a lot of things. So they become CEOs of, companies, or own several small companies under one umbrella that, they run it, but they don't really do anything. I guess what I'm getting at is a lot of folks spend a lot of their time doing the runaround and the paperwork. It's the paper chasing, and I could not do that. I could if I wanted to, and I set my mind to it, but it's just not for me. And it took me years to realize that, the difference between being a business owner and running your own business. And in other words, if you run your own business, most people will hire somebody to do paperwork, somebody to deal with the financial aspect, or the clients, whatever it might be. in our company that I work for, and that's why I started working for him, because I didn't want to go back to working for myself again, because it's a huge hassle dealing with clients and having to, go out and do estimates that you never get the job for, and he deals with all that stress, and then I answer to him and the foreman or the main boss. But generally, I'm my own guy. I show up to the job site and I do a job by myself, sometimes with other dudes, and I'm sent to do anything in woodwork. So I have the freedom of being an independent agent, basically, doing things the way I want, using my tools the way I want, picking out the material myself, things like that. With the exception of yesterday, and we did a little thing for Lowe's, the Home Depot Lowe's, where they hire us to come out and build like shelving or cabinets or this pantry we were doing, and then they come in with the film crew and they make it look like the homeowner does it. So when you see those commercials where it's like, you can do it, save big, and it shows a homeowner, painting all this amazing stuff they made, you find out it was actually built by guys like me that have, decades of experience, that know what they're doing. But even then, they pick out the material, and we ended up using plywood for all of the shelves, even the faces of the shelves. It was cheesy, but I had to work with what I had, and I still was proud of my work because I was using the best I had. But just putting that work forward, being able to do something you can be proud of, it's something I wanted to instill in my oldest son, who's 30 now, and he's he wanted to come work with me. Never really had that opportunity because I was working for other people, and he wasn't old enough when I had my business. And he likes doing, he works for TaskRabbit doing like construction or yard cleanup or anything. But he's a smart kid and he figures shit out quick. And he wishes he had a trade he could fall back on. And I'm ever grateful for the trade that I have. Just knowing carpentry, just having the ability to go out and do these things and get paid for it. I don't take it for granted, but there are days when I'm just like, I'm not built for this anymore. I'm falling apart. But it's all mindset, right? So, I don't know. Just some thoughts on work and life, I guess. Just an evening ramble. I'll talk to y'all next time. Peace out.